Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Big Gauchos, the stock investing show is completely out of pocket to help put money in your pocket. I'm Austin, back again with the boy, singular.
David's here. Tyler's not here because he went to Dubai, and apparently in Dubai they have some weird laws about recording. Tyler had to sit this one out, but we love our boy going to Dubai, hanging out.
Yeah, we definitely do. We booked him a flight back first thing tomorrow. So since the flight's so long, he's only going to be there for 3 hours. But whatever, he's getting his vacation.
Yep.
Anyway, we got some big news stories for you guys today. Dave, you want to do us the honors and kick it off as our resident medical expert?
Yeah, so there was actually some pretty big news today from our president, Mr. Trump. He made some executive orders, and it's going to have some pretty big repercussions for prescription drug costs. So I know that's been a really important thing in politics recently about making drugs more affordable for people to take them. And the four orders he proposed, the first one was EpiPens and insulin will become cheaper for low-income Americans. I'm not exactly sure how he plans to do that, but specifically for low-income people, they have to have affordable drugs because, EpiPens. Austin knows this; they're pretty expensive.
I do, yeah. So EpiPen has a monopoly on, just the EpiPen. I mean, they're the only company that makes it like that. But thankfully, there's another company now called AviQ. It's a little square. Um, I have pretty severe food allergies, so I need to carry those at all times, just in case. It is a life-saving drug, so I'm glad people are getting more access to it. It's really nice to see. But they're
Hmm.
they're very they're very expensive depending on your insurance. So, somebody at a lower income level might be paying, $600 or more per pen, which is absolutely absurd.
Yeah, no, it definitely is. And insulin is also extremely expensive too if you don't have
Mhm.
proper insurance coverage. So that's really good news. The second one is pharmacies and hospitals and whatnot can now import drugs from other countries. And I'm not sure why this wasn't allowed earlier. It doesn't seem like it makes any sense why we couldn't import drugs, but now we can. So that's going to definitely bring down costs all across the board. Because in countries like Canada, drug costs are like a tenth of what they cost in America, which makes no sense at all. But yeah,
Not at all. Aren't a lot of drugs made in India and like Asian countries?
probably. Yeah, I could see that. I know China makes a lot of drugs. So I
Yeah.
wouldn't be surprised if India did too.
Okay.
Um, the third one was um, Trump said that there can't be any more middleman deals between drug manufacturers and pharmacies. So I guess what was going on was they were making deals, kind of like monopolies. The drug manufacturers would only sell to certain pharmacies and get a surplus in bonuses or whatnot, and that would bounce back onto the consumer who would have to pay a higher fee for the drugs overall.
Wow, that's a pretty big industry of, I know there's a lot of people out there that make their living just being a pharmaceutical rep for these big companies. So they're quickly going to be having to do a lot of layoffs, but you know, maybe like you were saying, like the referral fees, maybe that was what was contributing in part to the opioid crisis back in the a
Yeah,
couple of years ago, a few years ago.
yeah, no, it probably was, and I know it's a lot more strict now on getting those drugs from the doctor, of course, and also from pharmacies filling the prescriptions.
Good
So
thing.
yeah, because some of the stuff is you can't mess around with like those heavy opioids like what am I thinking of right now?
Oxycodone.
Yeah, Oxy's the big one. That's one
Yeah.
everyone thinks of right off the bat. Um,
Used to
but
have pain clinics on every corner, at least in Arizona and like Florida and stuff.
oh yeah, the walk-in ones where you just get that prescription and then you book it out.
Yeah, pretty
But
much. And you can do it like, and then people would go to different ones like 10 times a day. It was terrible.
no, it definitely is, and and it ruins lives. So um, yeah, good thing it's kind of coming into the spotlight, and things are being done to prevent massive opioid overdose, or not overdose, opioid abuse.
Yeah,
Um,
it's a good secondary effect of it for sure.
hmm But yeah, but we'll back to on topic, and then
Yeah.
the fourth executive order was kind of the president set like an end date where the three prior mentioned ones need to be accomplished by August 24th, which is a month from today. And if that is not followed, then he's going to put a cap on what Medicare patients pay for drugs, and he's going to cap it based on other economically comparable countries such as Canada or the UK.
Wow. So it might be in the best interest of the patients if companies don't comply because then they get lower regulated drug prices.
hmm Yeah, yeah, but I kind of wish it didn't go through Medicare. I wish it kind of just went through these companies themselves, just because I don't know. I feel like Medicare's it's a good thing. Obviously, elderly patient people need insurance, especially when they are no longer able to work. Um, but I think that in some time there might need to be some changes to Medicare and Medicaid, and but whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, you're probably right. I wonder if since the companies aren't going to be following the orders in the first place, like suppose they don't follow the orders, the prices are still going to get capped at a certain dollar amount. So basically they'll have no choice like except to follow the orders or I mean they'd probably be losing money if they
hmm
if they weren't because all the prices were capped. So, you know, it's he it seems like a good proposal. I mean, it'll help a lot of people out that they need a lot of these drugs to survive. So
No, I mean definitely it will, and yeah, I think overall it is a nice thing to have to our laws. So yeah, we'll see what happens, and it's definitely going to hurt a lot of pharmaceutical companies. But you know, it is what it is. I think it is
yeah,
overall a good thing to have.
I do too. I mean, like, you can't help but think of like the pharmaceutical reps that are going to lose jobs, but I mean, for the people as a whole, I mean, it's a much greater good to have these prices much more regulated, and it's finally getting some attention right now, which is good because of the stuff like the CARES Act running out, and we're not even sure if more stimulus checks are coming. So I think it's the right move at the right time, and it's a good bipartisan issue. I don't think anybody's pro drug price hikes. Well, I mean some people are, but most of the lawmakers aren't. But
hmm
speaking of that CARES Act ending, Mr. Elon Musk, the man, the myth, the legend, he is in the same camp that's saying that the aid package isn't going to be good for the people because there's going to be too many special interests trying to swing the vote. It's interesting that he's opposing this because Tesla has benefited from the PPP loans to help their employees. So I mean, honestly, it's a little hypocritical of him.
No, yeah, it is a little bit, but I think he's just saying that if it's there, he's gonna take it, and anyone else would take it if it was available to them. So I can see why.
I'm sure I'm
Um,
sure I would take it too, honestly, like if I was in his position, but I just think it's kind of funny the way that he said it, and like obviously you can check the records. I mean, they got tons of money from paycheck protection, but um yeah,
yeah.
it's a little weird. I guess I get what he means because maybe he's on that side that's saying like the productivity is going to be decreased of the American worker if they're making more money at home than they would at their regular job. Then what's the motivation to go back and get the economy started? Maybe he's in that camp. I don't really know. Unless Elon, you want to come on the podcast and talk about it, we would love to have you, of course.
Yeah, no, we definitely would. And while you're here, we would love some of those flamethrowers you made. Those would be pretty cool to play with.
Dude, I would too. It's a new Big Gaucho challenge video. I mean, I'd settle for the boring hat too. Take a
Actually, they
hat.
weren't flamethrowers, but they were pretty close to flamethrowers.
Yeah, they're just a what do you call them? Roofing torch. It's a roofing torch on an airsoft gun frame.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
it
it's
was
cool stuff.
pretty genius, man. You can import those from China for only a couple bucks. You're selling them for $500 each.
Yeah, but
For
we have some
pretty
pretty big
genius.
news for our third story of the day. And this has to do with kind of the CARES Act, where they put a pause to evictions for rental units. And today is the last day that was going to be going. So tomorrow and Sunday, and then the following week, we may see a bunch of evictions taking place.
Yes, sir. So, I find this one particularly interesting, not just because I'm in real estate, but also just looking at the numbers. I mean, the masses of people that are going to be affected, they're saying super high numbers, like, excuse me, anywhere between 19 to 23 million people are at risk. And they're saying that could happen by October just because the proceedings take quite a while, and the courts are a lengthy process. But
Hmm.
uh, in addition to that, the HEROES Act and the Emergency Housing Protections and Relief Act are not predicted to pass the Senate. I had a typo on that if you're watching on YouTube. So those are really risky because not only are we not getting the aid anymore, but I mean, who knows? It's going to have a bigger it's going to have a bigger macro effect on housing as a whole rather than just the micro picture of rentals only, because those people that own the properties, the landlords, they might start selling them off if they're no longer profitable.
Yeah, that'd be crazy. Because, yeah, I mean, like, what would happen if you lived in a huge apartment complex and maybe, let's just say, 30% of the people were paying rent on time, and the landlord had to sell off? What would they do? Like, sell off some of the property, or could they sell off? Well, I don't understand. Like, what would happen?
So if it was an apartment building, usually it's all owned on the same parcel of land, so they'd have to sell the whole thing or nothing. So it would probably be in their best interest to sell if they're only collecting 30%. But the problem is, who do they get in there that's going to purchase that big of an investment? Like, a large size apartment buildings, many millions of dollars typically. And who's going to purchase that size of a deal if there's no income at all? So
Hmm.
it's super risky. And then you're going to have a lot of people thinking like that, which floods the market. Um, and the problem is when you're getting a loan from a bank for millions of dollars, it's what's called a jumbo loan because it's outside the parameters of a normal federally backed loan like Fannie Mae or Freddie Mac, FHA. So if that's all happening at once, if all the big jumbo loans, if everybody's thinking like that and they're like sell, 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 then the top's going to start falling out, and then the rest is going to come with it as other residential buyers start flooding and doing the same thing.
Dang. So what I'm hearing, it's gonna get pretty insane in the next couple months, maybe.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the jumbo market is already falling out, before this episode has even gone up. So, and now that the evictions are starting, it could start the same thing in single family housing. I mean, the current property values are only speculative. It's not based on real data. So, it's everything's very precarious, and when you're only betting on speculation to see if real estate will increase, I mean, it's a very dangerous game to be playing.
Definitely,
Kind
definitely.
of like the
That's
stock
scary.
market.
The stock market. Uh huh.
It's all spec, man. Just Tesla and Nikola. It's all speculation.
No, it definitely is. Yeah, it's all based on hope, essentially, that there's going to be a profit in the future because there's not a profit in today.
I know. And obviously with all these other extenuating circumstances going on, there's no way you can even guarantee that. So it's a little it's a little out there to be betting on that stuff right now. And I think we'll see the same thing in real estate in the coming months. People are going to be very hesitant to buy, but very eager to sell, and they'll be willing to settle for less money just to get out of it and flood the market. Prices go down, so it's probably how it'll happen in very simplistic terms.
Dang. So are you going to be acquiring some property of your own?
Sir, you bet. I mean, obviously it's a very bad situation, but I mean, there's still opportunity for people to invest at a much lower price. So, the market could be hot in a different way. It's all about adapting to the situation at the time.
Mm-hmm. So you're going to buy my apartment complex?
Yeah, yeah. 50 million bucks.
All right. All right.
Yeah,
I'm not sure
I
it's
got
worth that. I'll be honest.
yeah, you never know with Tucson. Depends how big it is, but yeah, yeah. We'll negotiate with them a little bit. Don't worry. We'll flip an apartment building.
I like it. I like it a lot.
I like it a lot too. I also like a little bit more unique investments, kind of like deodorant and makeup, which is interesting. Deodorant and makeup are seeing a decrease in demand, but ice cream sales are going up, which we'll have to look into that a little bit closer because I use both of those products very heavily. Um, so if all that's happening, you can hedge your bets with a company like Unilever. They make Dove soap bars and Dove ice cream, so you can have your investment cake and eat it too. You really can't lose on that.
Yeah, I couldn't figure out how much deodorant and makeup went down, but according to Baskin Robbins, maybe it was Baskin Robbins.
Favorite
Ice
research
cream
center, Baskin Robbins.
ice cream sales have gone up, I think 15% from the previous quarter.
Okay,
Which I guess it's just because people are staying inside and stay inside, watch movies, eat ice cream. Not a bad life.
that's what I would do. I mean, it's probably like a comfort food too, and I'm sure there's a lot of people under an unusually high amount of stress right now, so I get it.
Yeah, and it doesn't it actually kind of does make sense that deodorant and makeup have gone and seen decreased demand,
Yeah,
specifically
no,
makeup, because I know it
nobody's
takes a long
leaving.
time to put on. Some girls take a long time to put on makeup, and it costs a lot of money too. So it doesn't make sense why you'd want to put on makeup just to stay inside.
100%. Too much effort.
Um,
You can do all your Zoom meetings from the couch now in sweatpants. Nobody cares.
exactly, exactly. But
That's a
I like
that's
that
a that's the
Unilever.
best part. What?
I said I like Unilever. It's nice.
Yeah, I was like thinking, I was like, there's got to be a way to combine the two. I'm like, oh yeah, Dove, Dove bars, and they make the ice cream. Genius, man. Can't even tell the difference. One could just be soap dipped in chocolate. You never know.
Yeah, if you're watching on YouTube, the image on the right with the Dove ice cream bar, it really does look like a Dove soap bar just covered in chocolate.
That's what I mean, man. So I put it up. You can't tell, but can't tell until you bite into it, of course.
Exactly, exactly. Maybe we'll
Yep.
do a challenge. We'll take a Dove soap bar and then a Dove ice cream bar and cover them both in chocolate and see if we can tell the difference between the two.
I would I would hope so. Otherwise, we probably have bigger problems if you can't tell between soap and ice cream.
Tastes similar.
Hmm. Well, the chocolate really drowns it out. Yeah. Oh, I think Dove would have bigger problems. Sorry, bro. Your ice cream tastes like soap.
Or maybe the soap tastes like ice cream. You never know.
I'd be smelling really good then if I smelled like vanilla ice cream. Just saying. um. Well, I wish Tyler was here for this next story because we got silver going up 16% this week, and then we got gold up another 5% this week.
Yeah, gold is at an all-time high. I think I saw it was somewhere around 2,000 an ounce, I want to say.
Yeah, yeah, that sounds about right. I know we were talking about it a couple episodes ago, and the refineries are paying $40 more per gram for gold than what it's worth, just because it's so high in demand with all the stock market volatility. And we've been talking about real estate might be taking a big dive soon. So generally when things like that happen, and we're also in a recession, people tend to buy gold and silver and try to have as much liquid cash as possible for the next big thing.
Yeah. So if you have some spare change out there, go get some gold. It's a good investment. You can always, if you don't want to carry around gold because it's, probably the most things. If a robber breaks into your house and they see a gold bar, they're taking the gold bar. Let's just say that. So you want to be safe with the gold, and that's why you should get your teeth plated in gold. It's always there
Hmm.
for you. You know,
Should we get some grills, some big gaucho
yeah,
grills?
big gaucho grills. We want it in gold though. Silver, not so much. You got to get it in gold.
Yeah, solid, solid. Or you could just get some fake gold, some like pyrite, some fool's gold, and just get some big bars of those and put them in a really obvious spot, so they take those first. Think they got away with something.
Yeah, it could be a good strategy, I guess. If someone breaks in, they see a huge bar of fake gold, and they may just run off right away.
Right? Now they know our strategy.
Yeah, I might have to consult with some security experts to make sure this is a viable strategy before we implement it.
No kidding, man. We gotta start flipping some gold next. That's it's kind of the wave of the future. Or you could stock up on some jewelry, like Rolexes and stuff. But it's a little more risky and a little custom for what you need for money.
Hmm. Yeah. So what I'm seeing is we should go over to a gold mine and you know pull
Do it
out a
ourselves.
pickaxe, some chisels, hit the dirt.
I'm with it. Anything to make a quick 2,000. Um, what does a gold brick weigh?
A gold brick.
Or bar, gold bar. How much is it?
I think
It's
it
like
depends
it's
on how
it's
much it weighs.
it's like it's like well over $1 million worth of gold at least.
Well, like a 20-pound one.
Yeah,
Uh,
it's
I have
gotta
no
be.
idea. I have no idea how much gold bars typically weigh either. I'll be honest.
We gotta get that figured out. We gotta get Tyler on here and figure out where we can find some of these big gold bars. Gotta invest in the future. But Dave was saying if you had some pocket change, go ahead and buy some. But your pocket change might be worth more than the gold. I mean, we're still having a coin shortage. Nobody's taking cash anymore unless you have
Hmm.
exact change.
Yeah, and that sucks. So we'll see what happens. I'm hoping that they'll get rid of the penny. Kind of cool.
Costs more to make than it's worth. So naturally, it should be the first to go.
Exactly, and I think that the nickel is also getting close to being worth less than it costs to make.
Dang. I didn't know. Well, maybe with like rising labor costs here. Yeah, that makes sense. I wonder I wonder if they'll start like letting people melt the penny to like get rid of it.
Yeah, right. Because
Make a bunch of copper bars.
that is a little bit illegal, but you know,
Right. And we do
don't
not
say.
we do not condone that on this channel. However, if they were to allow that, that would be pretty crazy, wouldn't it?
Definitely would be. I think yeah, you'd see a lot of people probably melt down their pennies.
Hmm.
So
Yeah, I know we all got that old coin jar in the basement. So if you want to break that open and you're looking for something to buy, here's what you want to do. You want to check out the biggest winners, the biggest losers, and the sleepers for today. So let's hit that soundtrack. I was getting some comments that our intro for the sleeper stocks that Dave made is very well received. So give him a round of applause in the comments.
thank you. When I came up with the little jingle, I was driving and that's the first thing that kind of popped in my head. And I immediately pulled over, wrote it down, and then came back and recorded it. And yeah, I think it was pretty cool. I like it a
Very
lot.
good. Vocals by Dave, produced by me. and together, perfect song. Perfect
Exactly.
song for these perfect winners. Boston Beer Company trading under Sam, up 25.65%. Good old Sam Adams, right?
Yeah, so I don't have the exact companies they have, but they have Samuel Adams, of course. I think they also have Angry Orchard, I believe, and they have some other seltzer drink.
Mm, yeah, I think they do. Oh yeah, they have Truly. They have Truly Hard Seltzer, Wild Leaf Hard Tea, Dogfish Head Craft Brewery. Oh, I've seen, it's the dog with the little paper sailor hat. I love that one. And Tura Alcoholic Kombucha.
Such a
Holy
weird name.
moly. Yeah, those are some pretty good holdings. And they everyone shows that alcohol stocks are traditionally still very strong in a recession. So
Hmm.
any of those, including Anheuser-Busch and another one we're going to talk about a little later in the show, um, you know, those are those are very good investments if you play them right.
Yeah, I wish my Anheuser went up 25% of the day, but I guess, picked the wrong one.
I don't know. I think you might have picked right. They're good stable stocks, and we're used to heavy gambling.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. The second winner of the day was Advanced Micro Devices, trading under AMD, and they went up 16.5%. Um, that's pretty interesting. I think, if I remember correctly, they produce computer chips and motherboards, I believe.
Dang.
You
Okay.
want to double check me real fast?
Seems like they kind of compete with Intel, right?
Yeah, yeah, Intel, the good old processor, the i7, i5. We're over here rocking the i1.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just kidding now.
Yeah, they are computer processors and business technology. Yeah, that's a pretty popular stock on the subreddit Wall Street Bets. If any of you guys are familiar with that one, they like to do options on that stock quite a bit. Pretty funny.
Yeah,
Um,
exactly.
I think they might be able to overtake Intel. I mean, Intel's just been having a really bad year, and it all started off with that Apple news. So
Oh
it's
yeah,
it's
no,
not it's not looking good at all. That's for sure.
it was definitely a killer. And speaking of biggest winners, let's check out the biggest losers now.
On the other side of the coin, eHealth Incorporated is down 30.55%. Holy moly, dude. How did that even happen? Was there some big news around that?
Um, Yeah, I think they had a earnings report come out, but yeah, eHealth is one of the biggest health insurance providers for private insurance in the USA, and yeah, they took a huge beating today. That is some pretty heavy losses.
Yeah, no kidding. Um I don't I don't know if I'd invest in it just because I don't know much about it, but I think they're on the board for good reason, and that's for the potential.
Definitely potential, and
If you're into biomed and health stuff like that, it might be right for your portfolio. It's just I'm not really diversified in that area just because I don't really know about it.
yeah. But just think about this: you're always going to need health insurance.
Oh yeah, 100%. But all I'm saying is we had that other health insurance comparison company. I forget the name, but it was on.
Lemonade.
No, it wasn't Lemonade sucks too, but it was another insurance comparison company too that was on Big Losers, and I'm like,
Mm.
maybe it'll be the new cloud computing is like insurance comparison companies.
I mean, I might with the new deal from Trump because I know prescription costs are a huge money bag for a lot of companies.
Yeah. Yeah, they definitely get those fat commission checks, and doctors' offices have deals with drug makers and stuff too. So, everyone gets a little piece of the pie at the end of the day.
Yeah, exactly, exactly.
Hmm.
But our second biggest loser today is Intel, down 16.24%.
Yeah,
Yeah, we were just talking about them.
I was just gonna say we were just hinting at that a little bit earlier. So, the articles that are saying AMD is taking over, they might be true. I mean, you look at the numbers. I mean, they took over as much as Intel lost, almost exactly. So,
Yeah,
percentage wise, obviously, and that's very oversimplified, but it's a sign of the times for sure.
exactly. So we're going to see on Monday Intel going down 50% and AMD going up 51%.
Yeah, buy calls on AMD right now and buy as many shares of Intel as you can right now.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
On Monday.
definitely.
On Monday.
Definitely. And have them expire as soon as possible so you get that biggest bet.
A 1 day call.
Exactly.
Holy moly. Well, you can sleep on that. You might not make a big profit there, but you definitely might. It's pretty much a gamble, but don't want to sleep on the sleepers either. We got your favorite Molson Coors on tap. Get it? Because their ticker's tap. Anyway, uh, Molson Coors. It's in the name. They got Molson's. My favorite Canadian beer, personally. They got Coors Light, Killian's Irish Red, Extra Gold, Blue Moon. That's a big one, and then the Keystone brands, including Light and Ice, of course, and some other brands that are, a little lesser known, like Leaning Kugels and St. Archer Gold. So they got their foot in the door for sure. But like we were kind of talking about earlier, they're pretty stable just because it's alcohol sales.
Oh, definitely. And I know we were talking about a couple months ago that alcohol sales have been going up quite a lot during the pandemic, which, you know, is nice in terms if you're investing in these companies, but it's also a pretty big public health problem that, you know, alcohol is really subjective to alcoholism, which is not good for your health. It's okay to drink, every now and then, but when you're slamming down a 30 rack twice a week, then that's not cool.
That's not cool at all. Or if your friends are icing you on a Tuesday night right before bed. I mean, we know you're not gonna put down the bottle after one drink. So um, always drink responsibly and in moderation, and that's the key to life, moderation. But this stock, even in like 2012, like 2011, and during the recession, I mean, of 2008, they're still trading higher than what they're at right now, even. So they really didn't dip much during the March crash. I mean, they were trading at about $50 in February, and they only dipped to about 34. So we're still kind of on the bottom end of Molson Coors. You might want to jump in if you're looking for something pretty good long term.
hmm Yeah, I agree. That's interesting. They never really crashed. So, do you think they're going to crash in the October November crash we're predicting?
Mm, I don't know. I mean, I feel like it's one of those stocks that's more on the invincible end, kind of like Costco. You know how Costco never goes down. I feel like Molson Coors and Anheuser-Busch that you have, and Boston Beer. I feel like those are pretty, safe bets long term, just because it's quote unquote a recession proof industry.
hmm Yeah,
You know,
same with
people are always gonna want to
utilities.
party. Utilities too. That's
If
why
you need a plumber, you're going to call the plumber no matter what.
hmm Dave's got a point. That's why you buy PG&E too, like Dave was talking about with the utilities. Shout out to myself. Buy some PG&E right now while it's cheap.
I want to thank myself and nobody else for my buy on PG&E.
I did it alone. Okay. Let me bask in my own glory. Well, we also got First Cash Incorporated up, coming in for the number two spot. It's a national chain of pawn shops. I think this one might go up
Ooh.
if we have this crash coming because it's one of those industries that tends to rise. Obviously, when times are hard, a lot of people do turn to pawn shops. So probably good, long position, but sell off before the end of the year. I'd say.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's interesting. And yeah, I haven't gone to a pawn shop in such a long time.
Haven't either. I mean, they're cool for like looking at musical instruments and things like that. Um, you see a lot of crazy stuff and interesting people there for sure. But uh, they're they're a treat if you ever get to go to one. I know some areas don't have as many as Arizona. I mean, they're kind of all over the place here, but
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we should definitely check out some pawn shops, look at their Pokemon collection, maybe some
yeah,
Yu-Gi-Oh collection, but
and
definitely the
baseball
Pokemon
cards.
collection, and baseball cards, football cards, basketball cards.
Try to get some of those
Um,
original LeBron James rookie cards for $1.8 million.
yeah, no kidding. And we can also find some Dutch Bro cards that are 9 stars filled out.
I wish. Oh, that sounds so good. I'm traveling in California right now. I haven't had Dutch in quite some time.
Yeah, are they
But
just an Arizona coffee chain?
no, they started in Oregon and they're kind of spread out along the West Coast, but mainly Oregon and Arizona. They're starting to pop up in Utah and California. So, um, maybe we'll do a big Gauchos pawn shop challenge and then we can show you what Dutch is all about at the same time.
Definitely. And they started off in the West Coast because West Coast, best coast. Enough said.
Yes, sir. We're obviously biased, even though we release these on East Coast time at 5 in the morning, just to be considerate. But I'm sorry, 8 in the morning. But we try to be equal, but I would never live on the East Coast, so there.
Yeah. Well, maybe I'll be living there someday. You never know.
When Dave's in Harvard Medical School, shout out to my boy. He's coming up right now.
Coming up, coming up.
There we go. And gonna have to get your credit score up if you want to live on the East Coast because it's pretty dang expensive. You can check it on Equifax, our number three sleeper stock of the day.
Hmm.
One of the big three credit bureaus. Pretty self-explanatory, I'd say.
Yeah. I checked my credit score, and as you are pretty knowledgeable on this, is it good if my credit score was 495?
No, not really. Is it? Is it good if my credit score is 400?
I'm just kidding. No, I didn't check my credit score. I'm pretty sure it's probably pretty decent.
Yes, sir. Lowest you can get is 300. So even if you have 301, you're on your way.
Exactly. It's all about where you want to go, not where you are.
Gotta start somewhere, I suppose. But yeah, make sure you're checking your credit score pretty often. Not too often because you only get a certain amount of free ones per year. So
Hmm.
it's a good thing to do. It's part of being an adult. So gotta do it.
Definitely, definitely.
hmm And if you're adulting at the same time, you're trying to get something started for yourself. Build a foundation, build something you're gonna leave for your kids. What do you think's the best way to do that?
Um, I have no idea.
I was gonna say making a free podcast online with Anchor.com or using their convenient mobile app. Just an idea off the top of my head.
Yeah, it's always a good investment. Pass down to the kids.
Yes, sir. Yeah, our kids and our grandkids are gonna be doing big gauchos for 100 years. So we're gonna tell you how they're gonna do it. Let's hit that ad right now. Wow, okay, Dave. Happy to report Dave's back on top. He's got 22. Canal's coming in with 19. I got 14, and Tyler's breaking in double digits at 10. So, um, I guess we got to get a jump on the predictions today. We had a pretty red day today, and we're coming up on that 28th deadline, and the eviction moratorium just ended today. So uh, I'm I'm not. It's not looking too good. What do you think?
Yeah, it definitely is. Going to be some bad news over the weekend for sure,
Yeah,
especially with the China tensions. Because we didn't say it in the podcast, but if you guys remember, I think we said the one about America closing a Chinese consulate in Texas. I believe. I think it was
yeah,
Austin, Texas.
yeah. We talked about that one.
Yeah, so China retaliated and they closed one of their consulates in some Chinese city that I cannot pronounce.
You guys will have to Google it if you want to know what city we're talking about.
Yeah, so there is some tension going on. They're retaliating, and we'll see what happens in the future. But yeah, definitely some bad news. So you would think it's going to be a red day, and I think I'm going to have to go with green though.
Green.
Yeah, because whenever there's bad news, it's usually green. So I'm gonna say we're gonna go up to 26,800.
Whew. All right, just a little bit of a jump. I it's hard. I want to say it's not going to be the big kahuna, but I think we're really close. I'm going to say 25 420.
Wow, so 1,000 point drop.
Yeah, thousand point drop on Monday.
All right, all right.
I haven't done one of these in a while, but the last time I did it paid off, so I'm kind of thinking it has to be done.
I mean, if the big five drop down, you know, then you probably would get 1,000 point drop.
Yeah, I know that's what I'm thinking. And Nasdaq, I mean, they're getting most of their valuation off just 10 companies now, so that tech bubble's got to come down. And this eviction crisis is no small news either. So I think it's got,
Hmm.
unfortunately, pretty big potential to do some damage.
Yeah. So I guess Austin's gambling on the fact that Elon Musk is going to go on the Joe Rogan podcast this weekend, smoke some more marijuana.
Yeah, and Tesla stock crashes through the floor. Mark
20
Zuckerberg puts
bucks.
on $20. Oh, dude, I'd go all in, cash out everything. Mark Zuckerberg puts on too much sunscreen. He covers his entire body this time. Just and then the whole Nasdaq crashes to the floor.
Yeah, no, definitely. If Tesla drops like 20 bucks, you may see the big Gauchos go in to a you know, loan shark and take out some loans. It doesn't matter if the loan has like a 60% interest because Tesla's gonna go back up to $20,000.
Jeez, I hope so.
And by
Buy
20,000 I
some.
mean 2,000.
No. It could do 20,000. I mean, we're pretty much in an apocalypse already. Nothing left except Tesla and tech companies.
Yeah.
Well, you guys are gonna have to come back and see if we had the big kahuna on Monday. But we want to thank everyone for listening. We hope you enjoyed the show. Leave us a voice message on anchor.fm/gauchos or biggauchos.com if you want to send in an investing tip. We might play it on the show. Can I do the disclaimer?
Yeah, yeah.
Dave got the disclaimer last time Tyler was gone. Uh, just a quick disclaimer, guys. We are not licensed brokers. Anything said on this show is an opinion and not a fact. As usual, invest at your own risk. Do it safely. We are not liable for any loss gains, but we're directly liable for all gains. Shout out to Tyler. And with that being said, make sure you're making safe investments. Follow our advice. Do it at your own risk. And Dave, let the people know where they can find our Instagram.
Yeah, so you can find the Instagram on the Instagram app at Big Gauchos. So go over, check it out, give it a follow, give it some love, and yeah, have a great weekend, everyone. If you're like me, you're gonna be having some Pringles. So not
I got
sponsored,
some.
but
I got
wish I
some too.
was.
I do too. Just I got the regular ones, but Pringles, if you wanna take over and sponsor us, just go ahead and send us like 5 cans. We'll throw an ad on here for you.
Yeah, no, I'd love to try out all the new flavors they have. They make some crazy stuff
They
like
definitely
broccoli and
do.
cheese, um, mashed potatoes and gravy,
God. It's like
biscuits and gravy.
it's like those ketchup
Mm.
lays, dude. Ugh.
Ketchup flavored.
Yeah. Yeah, some of them are pretty creative, but
Pickles with
well,
ketchup.
I'm not gonna be trying any of those anytime soon, that's for sure.
Yeah, so we should do a challenge video like that where we some nasty Pringle flavors, Lay's flavors, and we just try to eat them.
I couldn't agree more. I
And
I
we'll
don't think I could stomach it.
yeah, no, and we'll have to predict what flavor they actually are.
Comment below if you want to see us do a little Lay's challenge or a Pringles challenge. And oh, what was I gonna say? What's that thing I always do? Oh yeah. If you're listening on streaming services, make sure you share that link with a friend if you learned something useful, especially if you're listening on Apple Podcasts. Make sure you leave us a review, 1 to 5 stars. Tell us something you like, tell us something you didn't like. We'd love to hear from you either way. Any final thoughts, Dave, for this beautiful Catterday?
Yeah, so I do have some final thoughts. And, I thought the ratings only go from 4.5 stars to 5 stars. Are you sure it goes from 1 to 5?
They should be. I don't settle for anything less than 4.5.
Nah, but rate us what you believe should be rated at. We'll accept whatever, and give us some comments, give us some love.
Yep, we love to hear it, good or bad. It's all about the discussion. So, good night from Arizona. Hope you made some money today. We'll see you on Monday.